Hey Fierce and Fire Ones, it's your girls Erica and Vianelli. And if you enjoy saucy inspired conversations from everything to sex, religion, to politics, then this is the podcast for you. We air weekly, so sit back, relax, get your tea, get your wine, or your favorite saucy inspired drink, and let's sit back and enjoy the podcast. Thank you for listening. Hi, Fierce and Fire Ones. It's your girls, Erica and Vianelli, and we're so excited to be back with you all today to discuss The 5 Love Languages is a book by Gary Chapman, written in 2009. There have been several adaptations of the book for singles, for married couples, and also for children. One misconception about The 5 Love Languages is they're about how a person expresses love. While certainly you can think about them in that way, Chapman goes on to explain in his book, it's not about how the person just expresses love, but rather how your partner feels love. If such a mismatch between the love languages goes unidentified, it can become a major source of tension in relationship. What makes your partner feel most valued doesn't come naturally to most of us. So simply having the tools to identify how to communicate how someone feels and receives love can also avoid misunderstandings in communication, which is why we feel that having this episode on the love languages is very beneficial.
I definitely agree that this episode is going to be beneficial for many people, for many relationships, as well as parents, and you'll see why a little bit later on. I just want to mention that your primary love language is not the only most direct way that makes you feel love. It also suggests your biggest vulnerability because you are most exposed to someone to hurt you when you expose your biggest fear, your biggest vulnerability to that individual. Love languages sketch an answer as to why your significant other may feel undervalued, even when you perceive that you're expressing their worth. It's important to remember for us not to force our own love language on our significant other. It's good to take our time to really analyze what is their love language. And if you do not know, it's okay. Sit down and talk. We're adults here. Even your child, take some time to analyze your child if they're very small, or take some time to speak to your child if they're older, just to take the time to be on the same page. So to start off our love languages, we are going to start with physical touch, and this is Erica's favorite.
Yes, physical touch is definitely one of my love languages. It's probably the top one. Now I'll say, even though physical touch, a precursor, is one of my love languages, it's I don't want to be touched by everyone. It's mainly in, relationship, family, like hug, that type of thing. You get the vibes, okay? Physical touch is described as a nonverbal use of body language and touch to emphasize love. A hug, a kiss, holding hands, being affectionate regularly, intimacy in a thoughtful way. I do enjoy the holding of the hands, a hug, just being near the person. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be all over them, but I enjoy that too. That is highly valued on my radar. And additionally, neglecting of this love language can look like a lack of touching, a lack of intimacy, or receiving affection. So another of one of my high on my value list is quality time. It's uninterrupted, focused time, one-on-one time with your partner. That can be as simple as sitting on the couch watching Netflix, or going out to a museum and experiencing something different, or going out and having a quiet dinner. It's just intentional time where you block out and you're with that person. That for me is definitely important. I can tell you for myself personally, for quality time, it's not about what we're doing when you are engaged in that space of having one-on-one time with that person. It's about, is this person fully present? Are we enjoying this? Does it feel forced? So that's the one thing I will say for anyone, in my opinion, that is trying to express an individual's love language, especially with quality time. You need to make sure that you're in the right mindset to present that person's love language to them in a way that it doesn't feel forced to you.
The next love language is acts of service, which is one of my love languages. In reference to how to communicate with your significant other, you have to use action phrases. It's all about actions. For example, I'll help you take out the garbage. I'll help you cook dinner today. I'll help you, or I'll help out in anything overall. Take out the laundry out of the washing machine, folding them, things like that. I don't know about folding all of them because I barely want to do that myself. You know what I'm saying? That takes me a few days to fold clothes, okay? I'm going to admit it. They want to know that you're with them, your partner. You guys are a partnership with them. And what actions you can actually take to show your significant other that you are in tune with their love languages is by doing chores together, or doing by themselves, or make them breakfast in bed, or even go out of your way to help them alleviate their daily workload. Just for example, by you helping out with the children, doing something as simple as, we'll say, reading them a book or something. That's definitely a big deal, because, you know, reading a book turns into 2 books and then turns into a million books. That overall, taking away that workload is just also for your significant other to see that you're in tune with their love language, and they're going to be very grateful that you're doing that in any small thing possible. Things to avoid if your significant other love language is acts of service. Listen in. Please avoid making the requests of others a higher priority than their request. Remember, they're your partner. You're in a partnership. Their request comes before anybody else. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right, we're gonna make that clear. So lacking any follow through on tasks, whether big or small, that you say you were going to do is a big no. So definitely avoid that. You know, I don't want to laugh about it, but yes, you definitely want to avoid that. Then we move on to words of affirmation. This is on my list. I'm not gonna say it's the top of my list, but it's definitely on my list. Ways to communicate if your significant other love language is words of affirmation is just by encouraging them, just give them daily affirmation, appreciating them, being empathetic, and just listening in actively, not being distracted when they're talking. That's how they want to be communicated with you. Actions you can take to show your significant other that you're in tune with the love language of affirmation is by maybe sending a little unexpected note during the day, or a little naughty text message. Doesn't have to be anything naked. You know, something cute, or a card. You can also encourage genuinely, and it doesn't have to be on a daily basis, just an often encouragement, like, you can do this, I'm proud of you, you're definitely doing your thing, you're lit, you know, simple things of that nature. A few major things to avoid is non-constructive criticism, not recognizing or appreciating as well their effort that they're putting into the relationship as well as into themselves. So definitely avoid those things.
Last but not least, receiving gifts. Every time I think about or hear this phrase, or hear about receiving gifts in the love languages, it always makes me think of diamonds are a girl's best friend. Thoughtfulness makes your spouse or your partner feel like a priority, and being purposeful. Giving thoughtful gifts and making gestures, small things that matter in a big way, is important when expressing this love language. So for example, a thoughtful gift can be as simple as giving a gas gift card. And as you know, we're about to experience some gas shortages, so your girl will take that. Or it can be as big as that a nice handbag that your, significant other has been dropping hints about. Oh my God, I really want the new Chanel bag or the YSL bag. I don't even care for those things, but like, that would be something that you would show, okay, I've been listening to you. I know you really want this. And so I'm honing in on the things that matter to you. Even as simple as changing a car alarm. So it doesn't matter the expense of the gifts. It's just the thoughtfulness and the intent behind it, and the meaning and the gesture. So ways to totally bomb the love language of giving gifts. Forgetting special occasions, that's at the top of the list. So if you're not on the radar for the holidays, you're missing out. I'm telling you right now. And not listening and paying attention to things that your partner is interested in. So for example, you're not going to give your partner a set of golf clubs if they don't like golf. Okay? When their favorite sport is basketball. Just an example. Not a thoughtful gift. Unless your partner says to you, oh, I have a desire to learn more about golf because a lot of people at my job do this, and it's a great way to be social at work. When giving gifts, just remember, it's not just about the expense, it's about the intent. And I think that is everything that we need to know about the love languages. It's not about you yourself, it's about the intent to make sure that your partner is feeling and receiving their love and their language.
So Erica and I defined the 5 love languages meant, things to avoid, how to communicate, and actions that your significant other would like to see. So we definitely now want to just give you a few examples of love languages for children. Of course, it's still the same, it's still 5, but we're just going to give you some examples of things you can do with your children depending on the love language that your child has. So we're going to start off with words of affirmation. So if you have a child that loves words of affirmation, you need to tell them you love them daily, tell them how proud you are of them regularly, find reasons to congratulate them and encourage them. Just saying, wow, what an amazing picture you have there, even though it doesn't really look like anything, it doesn't matter. We're laughing because it's funny, because it's so cute, but to them, it means everything. It really does. What you need to avoid though is harmful words and tones in your voice, as those will only hurt their hearts and their soul, and they'll keep that on as they go and get older. So just remember, just daily encouragement, and just tell them you love them daily.
So the next love language we're going to discuss for children is touch. Although we've discussed it before, but we're going to go into what are some things you should think about when we're getting and expressing love to a child. So hugging them on the daily, holding their hands while walking through the store, snuggling up and reading together. Oh my God, reading is my all-time favorite pastime thing. I love to do that with my nephew. And showing them that you also enjoy cuddle time, no matter what their age is. That is true. Children do not grow out of that cuddle time. They may push you away when they get a little older, but they still appreciate.
The next one up is quality time. Again, this is my favorite as well. In reference, if you're a child, this just means you need to spend quality time together, going on walks, reading to each other, like Erica mentioned. I love reading as well. It's such a great time. If your child doesn't like touch, you don't have to be cuddled up reading, but you can be in the same space next to each other, reading the book, tossing a ball around, going outside in the scooter, bike riding. Oh, definitely cooking together. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
You know, Erica Grace loves cooking with me nonstop. She loves doing that. Playing a game, painting, watching a movie, anything that your child likes. And just because one child likes to watch movies or play video games or play a board game doesn't mean your child will. You have to find what your child enjoys in order to spend that meaningful quality time, instead of it being just spending time of things that you want to do things that your child wants to do.
I couldn't agree more. The next love language is gift. The gifts can be as small and simple as a pack of crayons or a coloring book. Surprise gifts for parties, giving rewards for great behavior. That is important. Not just giving gifts for the gift's sake of giving gifts. Treasure hunt, leaving a little note, also a trinket in their room, and extra candy and lunch, or a piece of clothing for a special occasion. That is a great way to express this love language to a child.
So last but not least, in reference to a child's perspective of love language of service, one of them would be clean their room, help them with their homework. And in reference to cleaning their room, you assisting them and helping them, because sometimes them cleaning their room, depending on their age, sometimes they feel it's like a lot, so they don't know how to start and they never clean their room because they never know how to begin. But if you help them begin, they will tend to finish. And then if they don't finish, of course, consequences for that. But you assisting them, helping them also with their homework, teaching them something new, volunteering together, just helping them in any way. For example, if it's their day to take out the garbage, they wash the dishes every single night, perhaps surprise them with today I wash the dishes for you. You don't have to wash them tonight because you did such a great job on your test. I'm taking you off today. Just something like that. Act of service for a child. That to them is great because they're going to be on their phone, probably talking to little friends, or on YouTube, etc. So that is time for them to enjoy, and that's you showing them that you're in tune with their love language.
I could have said it better myself.
So fierce and fire ones, we are very happy that you listened in today. This is episode 10. Can you believe, Erica?
Yes.
Oh.
We're rolling right along, and we are so excited that we're doing this all with you.
Yes, I just want to remind you all, Erica and myself, we did our vision board, and I'm definitely excited that we are sticking to our goals or getting closer to our goals. And I hope everybody everybody is sticking to their goals, and we're hoping to check in there a few months from now just to see how everybody's goals are going.
Exactly. We can't wait to do that.
Thank you so much for listening in to our Fierce and Fire podcast today. Don't forget, you can stay connected with us at our Instagram at Fierce and Fire Podcast. There, you can stay connected with all our episodes as well as future events. We can't wait for next week so you can tune in to our next Fierce and Fire podcast.